Today, we're going to talk about something really powerful, something that often goes unsaid, and that's the immense weight that gets placed on the firstborn child.
So let's just kick things off with a question, especially for all you eldest siblings listening. Is being the firstborn really just a birth order, or does it feel more like you got handed a lifetime appointment you never even applied for?
Okay, so let's really dive into this. For a lot of firstborns, you kind of get appointed to this role of deputy parent. And yeah, sometimes it's quiet, sometimes not so quiet. But it is so much more than just being the older sibling.
And this role, it even has a name, the family pillar. You see, it's not just about helping out here and there. No, it's this huge expectation that you'll be the financial savior, the emotional rock that never crumbles, and the absolute perfect role model. And all of that pressure, it often comes at the expense of your own dreams.
Now, I know this can all sound a little abstract, right? So let's make it real. Let's talk about David. His story, wow, it just perfectly captures what these invisible obligations feel like.
So, David's 28, he's worked so hard, and he finally lands a stable job. You can imagine that feeling, right? That sense of freedom? Well, it's gone. Instantly. Because his very first salary, it's already been budgeted out by his family for things like school fees and medical bills. So instead of congratulations, his phone is just buzzing with a whole new list of responsibilities. And this right here, this is the heart of the conflict. You've got the expectations on one side. Be the savior, be the rock, be perfect. And then you have David's reality on the other side, this crushing feeling that he owes an unpaid debt to his parents, a real identity crisis because he's a provider first and himself second, and this paralyzing fear of just saying the word no.
You know, all of this constant pressure, it leads to something called the silent burnout. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's this deep, profound exhaustion from carrying the weight of your entire family tree on your shoulders, all while you have to pretend that everything is totally fine.
And David actually captured this feeling perfectly in a voice note he sent to a friend. He said something like, sometimes I look at my younger brother and I'm just so envious. He gets to be young, he gets to make mistakes, and then he asks, when is it my turn to just breathe? Wow. You can just feel the exhaustion in that one question, can't you? It's about so much more than money. It's about losing his own youth, losing the chance to just be.
Okay, so we understand the problem, but what's the solution? How do you move forward from that? Well, it all starts with giving yourself permission to breathe, and that requires a massive shift in how you think about responsibility.
And really, it all boils down to a fundamental truth. It's so simple, but it's incredibly powerful. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Think about it. If you're constantly giving everything away and never taking time to refill, eventually you're just empty. You've got nothing left to give anyone, and definitely not yourself.
Which brings us to setting boundaries. And we have to completely redefine what that means. It's not a betrayal of your family. It is not being selfish. For someone who's been the family pillar, setting boundaries is quite literally an act of survival.
And that leads us to a really vital metaphor, one you've probably heard before, the oxygen mask. It's all about that idea that feels so counterintuitive but is absolutely essential, putting yourself first.
So let's really break this down. First thing to remember, your worth is not defined by how many problems you solve for other people. Second, it is absolutely okay, in fact, it's necessary to put your own needs first sometimes. And finally, and this is so important, self-preservation isn't selfish. It's what actually lets you keep supporting the people you love in a way that's healthy and sustainable for everyone. I mean, we hear it every single time we get on a plane, right? Put your own oxygen mask on first before helping others. And it is the perfect metaphor for this. You have to secure your own well-being first, because that is the foundation for everything else. So I want to leave you with this final thought. Whether you are that firstborn pillar or you know someone who is, just ask yourself this. What is one thing, just one small thing you can do for yourself today?